Dave a chance to reboot, and we will continue with our informal. Thank you. Okay, David's up and running, and Crystal's almost there.
Open and ready to go.
Okay,
So,
So-
just need to say,
Go ahead.
in open session, no final decisions were made. In executive session, consensus of the board was conveyed to staff. One other item we did briefly touch on was the possibility of scheduling a work session in the next several months to discuss the county's backlog of foreclosed real properties as we move towards, hopefully, a public auction sale for some of those properties later on in the spring.
very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christian.
Yes.
And with that, if we'll start with commissioners' updates. Commissioner Olson?
Well, I think just a couple things last night, and today I attended both sessions for the economic infill meeting in Willamina. I know the two of you were here this morning. I think Willamina is motivated to do something about it. I think they have a good start. I was glad to see James LeVar from Regional Solutions there, because I think Regional Solutions brings a lot to it. So that's the one thing. And the other thing, just a lot of meetings. We have the Lipstick meeting coming up, and then also the court security meeting coming up, and a lot of other meetings coming up. So, but that's all for me.
Okay.
Lots of meetings. Yes, the Willamina thing was interesting, and because this is a project generated by the EPA, we have to keep in mind that the EPA might not exist as an entity, but the information, if they give it to Willamina, you know, it's the sort of the template and a game plan going forward, and that community never ceases to amaze. They came back from the ashes, and they're totally motivated.
We're gonna have to rename it Phoenix.
Yeah,
if they-
Phoenix, no kidding. Just want to talk about a week or so ago, I went to Dayton, and one of the high school classes did a project, pretty comprehensive project on the megaquake and some of the infrastructure issues, costs that would be associated with buildings and bridges and roads. And I'd never seen anything that comprehensive, so I asked the class to speak Thursday at our emergency management monthly meeting, and they're coming out and doing a presentation. I think it's really not only important to acknowledge what this group has done, but to show our stakeholders that there's a lot of information out there that might not necessarily be coming from government. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be worthwhile seeing. So very proud of these guys.
Great.
And I think we just can't praise our high schools and our community colleges enough, and our four-year colleges. What they're doing things now that normally would have been thought of as government type functions is just totally innovation. They're just totally amazing.
Yeah, so that's neat.
Very good. Well, thank you for inviting them in here, because some of these classes, some of these students are doing some amazing things, as we saw on that tour when we were at ISA, the three students who actually made the presentation on the things that they're doing out there. It's mind-blowing. These kids are so far down the road on their appreciation of the world and how they are connected to it through the digital world. And we sit back, and our generation will say, whoa, wait a minute, time out, give us a break. And yet these kids are really pushing the envelope constantly, day by day. So it's really exciting. And we met today. I didn't make it last night, but today at Willamina, meeting at the school, and you see the activity level there. You see the kids engaged in so many things. So it is exciting. One of the things that came out of last week, we had the second.
Sorry, I missed that.
Okay.
Would you say that again?
Yes,
please,
I'll say that.
Commissioner?
Last week we had the phase 2 of our Vitality Summit out at the Falls Event Center, and very engaging. There was a great deal of energy in the room. People were really engaged in the process. One of the things that was highlighted in the particular table I was at was the monies that are going to be available in the legislature. We need to start really focusing our message on how the things we need will help us be resilient. Resiliency for the major events that we know are going to happen, we don't know when, that is going to play a key role in how much credibility is given to any of the requests for dollars from the various agencies, the state agencies. One of the ones that LCDC has that program where they come out and give their technical assistance program. They've been told that money is going to be directed to the coast. So anything west of I-5, I consider the coast, because according to all of the projections, anything west of I-5, you stand a good chance of having significant infrastructure breakdown. So I think that we need to keep that in mind and make our department heads aware that as they are looking at plans and looking at requests for any kind of state assistance or funding, that they tie that request to resiliency, because this is something that in that meeting this morning I was talking to James LeBar and the young lady that was there from LCDC, and she's very concerned because that's a big part of what she does, and if all of a sudden everything goes over to Tillamook, Lincoln, Coos, and Curry counties, she doesn't have anything to work with in Yamhill, Polk, Marion. So anyway, just something to be aware of, and as you're talking to legislators and you have things that you're talking about, make sure that you connect it to resiliency. It's going to be a big word in the legislature this coming session. So, yeah, we need to be aware of the things that are happening in Yamhill County. There's a lot of wonderful things happening. But so anyway, that's my 2 cents from the things I've been doing this last week. I do want to give Laura the floor.
Thank you. For your calendars for the next 2 Thursdays, I wanted to let you know that on Thursday's formal session of this week, you're going to have a check presentation for the Union Gospel Rescue Mission for the $150,000 that you approved last year to give to them. And so Kay Sawyer and Dave Hageberg are going to be there. And then next week is the 16th, and I know, Mary, we talked briefly about perhaps having a combined session on the 14th so that you could go to the Justice Reinvestment Summit.
And that will also be gone on the 16th.
However, I need to remind you that we have the follow-up hearing for the agritourism.
People, Wolves
Wolves people?
Yes, is scheduled for next Thursday. So we need you all to be there at 10 o'clock, wondering if you could make the reinvestment summit afterwards. And if you could make AOC afterwards.
I could probably did it last time. I could call Laura and tell her I won't be there
Until right after formal session.
The only thing is I was looking at some of the sessions that they had, and they were
That's same with me for
really
the
good
morning
ones
sessions.
for the morning sessions.
I know.
Wow.
And that hearing is pretty critical that we hold to the dates, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we held it open for a week, and then we had the week for one more week to turn materials in, and then a week for remand, and then one final week for.
So that takes us to the 16th. Now,
Now
we can. I mean, we have the ability to move that
Yes.
if we choose to.
Yes, you do.
We just have to make sure all parties are made aware and that
The only other
we,
issue would be whether or not we're bumping up against the 150-day limit on the application itself. And I can confirm that pretty quickly.
if we can, and I'm not saying that we should do that, I'm just, that is an alternative, which takes us to the 23rd, which
This
then.
your,
Then I'm leaving, and I've got to leave, my plane leaves at 2 o'clock,
so you
so
have
I've got
a
to.
very limited amount of
Yeah.
time
So,
on the 23rd.
Would that be something we could do at an informal the following week?
If you, I mean, I was thinking you could.
We
do
notice it?
Combine.
On the 21st.
Combine and notice it?
Maybe one of those weeks.
21st,
I don't know.
I mean, we
Over
can,
there on, at room, on in room 32?
we can, I
The
mean,
only thing I would want to confirm is where we are time-wise.
yeah, no, I
Yeah,
agree.
if that-
And if that impacts any of the notices we would need to give to applicants or opponents.
Yeah.
Well, we need to review that, but
So-
what I would
Go ahead.
suggest we possibly do is put that on Christian to find out what our options are and how that affects what notices need to be given.
So we're talking about shifting the reopening of the hearing for the Wolves and People agritourism permit application from the 16th
To the 21st.
Tuesday?
21st.
21st, yeah, and having a joint session on the 21st.
Or just having
Or
it
just
at,
having it
have
as
a
an
special
part of the
formal
And then our
session.
regular
Yeah.
informal session.
Have a-
Just have a special formal session perhaps for that item.
And not have it part of informal?
Well, I mean, if you do a combined.
You could do a combined, except we have the local contract review board scheduled for the 23rd.
23rd, before.
Before, at
formal.
nine.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
the
that's
20
right.
Before
21st
Thursday's
is
Well, the
formal.
23rd would be fine to have the review board, because then if we did
Yeah,
a
if we're
joint
not-
on the 21st,
If we're not moving formal from the 23rd, Laura, then you're probably right, a special session on the 21st is probably more appropriate. If we're
I
still
like to
gonna
proceed
have-
on
if we're
that
still
route
gonna
if
have
possible.
the-
If that's
Deadlines.
possible and it's not too
too
chaotic.
cumbersome, and you know, as long as we give the proper notices and,
That's what I gotta find out.
yeah,
We can-
okay.
we can
Let's,
do that.
We'll
let's,
let him do
let's
his work.
make that decision, then we can, at formal, we can formally make those changes, if in fact it
Those
works.
changes.
And then, Laura, I didn't see it on here, but it's on this Thursday, we are reopening the Baker Rock hearing from last week.
At the point of staff report,
Correct.
and then we
This
vote.
Thursday. This
Correct, this
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah,
And we
Thursday.
Continue the hearing for 1 week. So
Okay.
we'll be reopening that at the point of staff recommendation.
And then we'll talk on Thursday about what Christian has found out about timelines and notice regarding the agritourism appeal.
And if it works, then we'll go
For a
ahead and
special formal
formalize it
session.
at that session, if that
Yeah,
works
I'll
with
find out
everybody.
what process we need to follow to do that.
Okay,
Great.
Okay,
thank you. That's all I
Okay.
thank you,
have.
thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Anything else for the good of the county? Hearing nothing, we will close the informal session. It is now 3, or